The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
What is Aaron Glenn's plan this offseason? We'll break down the latest with Matt O'Leary. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
Number one, we play with maximum effort. There's three elements of effort. Got burst, speed, and finish. If I don't see one of those, man, you're a traitor. Go play for somebody else. Win, lose, or draw. The one thing you're going to say about our defense, using the fight. That's an ass kicker.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quentin Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go on a Thursday. Hope everyone is having a great week so far. Click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And another reminder to join the Patreon if you haven't already. Click the link in the description box. Sign up and be a part of our Discord. It's included with your Patreon membership. Joining us right now in his weekly spot is our dear friend, Matt O'Leary. Matt, happy Thursday. And the offseason is fully underway for every Jet fan.
Fully underway. Didn't even really get a chance to finish the 2024 season as we got the Aaron Rodgers news on Super Bowl Sunday. So offseason starting early as usual.
What are your thoughts on the lack of like anything official from the Jets on Rodgers? Like, he's still on the team. The team hasn't put anything out there. We all assume he's gone. Glazer's reporting he's gone. But I do wonder if they're going to make anything official like they did the coaching staff the other day.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I wonder if maybe they're just being patient and waiting to get closer to the new league year. But it feels like, according to all the reports, Glazer had it and then all the other NFL insiders were jumping on it. So I think it's only a matter of time. But, it is a little bit bizarre that they haven't made any sort of official announcement. They're kind of still operating business as usual. And you always look at like the comments of the tweets and it's all Aaron Rodgers talk. So eventually they're going to have to address it here.
Yeah, it feels like the longer they let it go, the more people are going to be like, you going to say anything about Rodgers? Because do they want Rodgers to be the one to say it first? Because I'm sure he'll go on McAfee next week when he's back from wherever he is, and he'll be the one to talk about it. So it feels like if you want to get ahead of it, you got to like almost put out a statement that you're moving on first.
Yeah, I would think so. From the Jets side, I would think you would want to release the statement before Aaron Rodgers goes public with it on, likely, as you said, on the McAfee show, just to get ahead of it and put your spin on or your narrative on whatever it is that you want to put out there. But I'm hoping that it could be a, amicable split, that it doesn't have to be a big toxic thing or, one side taking shots at the other. I just think, tried it. Didn't work. They decide to move on. There's rumors that, Rodgers was interested in moving on as well. Okay, fine. Everyone go our separate ways and let's look towards 2025.
What are your thoughts on where we go from here, Matt? Like, you go through the options. They're not great. Obviously, your initial take on where the Jets possibly go at quarterback this offseason.
Yeah, I think, Tyrod Taylor right now is going to be looked at as the favorite because he's the only one still here on the roster as that veteran. But I do think they look to add another veteran, and there's so many different names. Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, I think are two popular names among Jets fans. I put out a video this morning talking about some other veteran options too, kind of wondering if they try to go a similar route that the Pittsburgh Steelers did last year, where they signed Russell Wilson to essentially the vet minimum because he was getting paid all that money from the Denver Broncos. Some names who would fit that bill would be like Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins. Personally, for me, with Kirk Cousins, he's coming off an Achilles injury also and did not look very good, especially at the end of the year when he got benched for Michael Penix. He had like 1 touchdown to 9 interceptions in his final 5 games, which that doesn't really excite me all that much, but I could see them either going the route of like a Derek Carr on the cheap or trying to find the stopgap in Justin Fields or Jameis Winston. But I do think it is another veteran added to this quarterback room.
I don't really want anything to do with Cousins. I don't know. I feel like if we're going to bring in another old quarterback coming off an Achilles, just keep Rodgers at that point. I guess Carr intrigues me if he's available for next to nothing, because at least he's like younger than the other options out there, and he has had success. He's not great. It's just unfortunate because they're kind of in no man's land for the year. They're picking at 7, so it's not an obvious spot to get a quarterback. And the veteran options are veteran options for a reason. So it just kind of feels like we're kind of just stuck at the stuck in quarterback purgatory or quarterback hell, however you want to describe it, for another offseason.
Yeah, it's going to be, look, like they're not going to find their long-term quarterback solution this year. And, even if Rodgers was here, that's not your long-term answer either. And I get it. A lot of people wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers and try it one more year with him, with a new coaching staff. But I'm curious to see the route that they go. I don't think it's a guarantee that they're going to just be absolutely awful and be picking in the top 5 next year. I think there's a chance you could find someone who can maybe not put up the exact same numbers as Aaron Rodgers, but give you passable NFL quarterback play. And if the team improves in other areas on the defensive side of the ball, special teams and coaching, I think they might be a little bit more competitive than some are giving them the credit for.
What are your thoughts on this coaching staff? You brought up the new staff. Glenn finalized the 2025 coaching staff. Any major takeaways when you saw the full list of guys on this staff?
Not a lot of surprises. We got most of the names leaked out there already. I guess the one thing that I was slightly surprised with and maybe a little bit worried, and not to the point where I think like I'm hitting a panic button, but I just figured they would add some sort of veteran to the offensive staff. And that really wasn't the case unless you want to count Scott Turner in that role. But it's not like he had, this awesome success as an offensive play caller in his NFL career. He's kind of a veteran pass game coordinator. He was with the Raiders the last couple of years and was the offensive coordinator in Washington before that. But Todd Haley's name was mentioned a ton, and I was kind of just wondering if they would add either him or someone like him who's been either a head coach or a longtime offensive coordinator in this league, and they didn't. So that's the only thing that really gives me any pause on this offensive staff.
I like the defensive staff. It's just impossible to know how Tanner Angstrand is going to be as the OC. That to me is really what it comes down to. If Glenn got Angstrand correct, that he's going to be a good offensive coordinator, then I think you feel good about every other hire here, because Steve Wilkes is accomplished as a DC. Really comes down to Angstrand to me. I just hope this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, for sure. The offensive play caller, when you hire a defensive minded head coach, the next most important thing after that is who is your offensive coordinator. And he is a first time play caller, and that, I get it scares Jet fans, but you're hoping that he's able to take some of the concepts that they used out in Detroit and had success with in Detroit and implement that here. I think for Angstrand, I would expect them to be a much more run-heavy team in 2025. They didn't really run the ball all that much this past year. I would think they'd use more tight end sets, multiple tight end sets, and more motion as well. Things that we saw in Detroit, and it wouldn't shock me if that made its way over here as well.
Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Matt O'Leary joining us in his weekly spot on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another Asmaniac raffle coming your way. We're just days away from our 15th raffle. The grand prize, a Curtis Martin signed Hall of Fame helmet, a Wayne Corbett signed jersey, a Don Maynard signed helmet, a Joe Namath replica Super Bowl ring, and an Aaron Glenn signed trading card. Those are the prizes. Get the membership to be in the raffle. And if you send in a $20 super chat, you'll get 5 raffle entries. Other than quarterback, what to you are the biggest needs for Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn to try and rectify this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, well, with Aaron Rodgers likely out, that means Devontae Adams is going to be gone too. So wide receiver, I think you're going to have to find a number 2 wide receiver, either in free agency or in the NFL draft. On the draft side, I know a lot of people like Tet McMillan for the Jets at 7th overall. That's a pick that would really excite me. I think he complements Garrett Wilson's skill set well. And then to me, you look at the defensive side of the ball, and you probably need 2 new starting safeties, I would imagine. The Jets' last regime didn't really put a huge emphasis on that position with the money they spent in free agency and the draft capital that they threw at it. So I think with the scheme change, I think they'll put a little bit more of a focus on the safety group, especially because I think it'll be more blitz heavy. So I would anticipate they sign someone in free agency and then probably draft someone as well. And interior defensive line is one that you keep going back to. I think, Quinnen Williams, obviously on the interior, great player, but you're losing more than likely Javon Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas, names like that. And not that they really popped off the page and were really all that successful in 2024 with the Jets anyway. But that's an area I think they desperately need to upgrade to.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the oh shit button. Rick Kent with a 20 spot.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Strap up, Matt. Here we go. Strap up. Rick Kent, 20 channel memberships. He wants to win a raffle. Beagle Tree, Reed and Black, Brandon Bradshaw, Ref Fan, Old Bear, Marcus Dunn, Loud Coach Johanna, Jeff Davis, Alan Avital. I thought you retired, Alan. Fraud. Tommy Scuderi, Dicker the Kicker. Beto, by the way, Alan, suck on these Nick fan, you know what. The Big Fella, Jared, Over the Top, Rob Basil, Yeti, Stephen T. All receiving memberships right here, right now from the Rick Kent. That didn't feel like 20 names. Franklin Fung. I don't know. That's all I'm getting here. There's 20 of you who just received a membership, though, from the great, the incomparable Rick Kent.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Ugh. All right. You like my helmet, by the way, Matt? Full size.
This is a great new addition to the Jake Asman show. I love it.
20 memberships. We put the helmet on. We strap up. I also have, speaking of the Knicks beating Allen's Hawks last night at overtime, my foam finger that they gave away to everyone.
There you go. So you got a nice little foam finger going. You could toss that up. Knicks tape.
Oh, yeah. Boom. Hold on. Let me just. Hey, Alan. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Rick, you're the man. We'll get you down in the raffle with a 20 spot. Comment here from Alan. We'll read it. He's now a member. Sustained success equals slow play in 2025 while cleaning up the previous regime's mess. If we finish 5-12 and are able to weed out bad cap hits and bad seeds, I'm all for it. I'm not signing up for 5-12. I think that is so stupid just to be like, yeah, if we go 5-12, but we don't have any bad contracts, like it's all good. Like that to me is not good enough. Like if you go 5-12 in year 1 with Glenn, then if they have another bad year in year 2, let's be honest. We know how this fan base works, Matt. 85% of the fan base is going to want a new coach at the end of year 2.
Yeah, I don't think 5-12 is really anything to write home about. Obviously, that's the record that they finished with this past year. And I know some people are thinking because they moved off of Rodgers that they're only going to get worse, but that's not my expectation. Now, I'm not saying, I'm going to go into next year and say they got to win 10 games or anything like that. But I think you could be much more competitive than a 5-win team and set the groundwork for the 2026 season and beyond. I'm not, just completely punting off in 2025 and saying they're going to be horrible. But to me, there's no reason that with, certain improvements at other areas around the roster that they can't be a better football team than they were a year ago.
JK says maybe by year 20 we make the playoffs. I mean, we have Jet fans being like, we could be there within 3 years. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are we doing? Let's try and win now. We have talent. Don't waste it. This is not 2021 when Salah came in.
Yeah, it's very different than the 2021 version of the Jets. But you hire the right people, and one good draft class can change everything. Everyone's pointing to the Washington Commanders. They were supposed to be horrible this year, and they're in the NFC Championship game. Now, granted, they found the franchise quarterback in the draft, and I don't know if the Jets will be in a position to do that, but NFL is weird. It's a year-to-year league, and there's surprise teams every year. So I don't think it has to be they got to suck for another 4 years before they can make the playoffs again. Hopefully it turns around much quicker than that.
Dirty Raygun has gifted a channel membership.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Dirty Raygun, you're in the raffle for one. Listener John is the recipient of that channel membership right there. Super chat from Double R. No more Hall of Famer at QB. So what's the plan now exactly? To me, the plan is another veteran, and then I still would be interested in potentially drafting someone. Like that to me would be the plan. Like you just keep basically attacking the quarterback room until you maybe one day get lucky and find someone who could be your long-term answer. Maybe you can't even do it this offseason, but you got to keep going because Aaron Glenn, he could talk the big game and all that. If he doesn't find a long-term answer at quarterback, he's not going to be here that long. Like you can't have sustained success in the NFL without a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, that's their goal. They have to find a franchise quarterback. Unfortunately, Rodgers wasn't playing at a Hall of Fame level with the Jets, so they got to replace like the 20th best quarterback in the league from last year. So I think they have a better shot to do that with a stopgap veteran than some of the fans are thinking here.
Would you trade up? Because I'm very intrigued by trading up, depending on what the cost would be if they love one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's got to depend on whether how they feel about Cam Ward. Shedeur Sanders in New York with his dad really scares the crap out of me. I don't know if I could see that working out with the Jets. But if they really like Cam Ward, maybe. I don't love this quarterback class, and I know that's not really a hot take. I feel like a lot of people kind of feel that way. I think they need players in here, so I'd be worried about giving up the first round pick in next year's draft class in order to move up for that guy. But if for whatever reason AG and Darren Muji, they see Cam Ward and they think you absolutely got to trade up for him, this is our guy, then you got to make that call.
Listener Andre became a channel member. He is now in the raffle for one. Boom. Andre, we will get you down. Matt, as far as Garrett Wilson goes, do you expect an extension to happen this offseason?
I do. I think it's significantly more likely that he gets extended than traded. And that's another one that people are panicking about right now with Garrett, because I get it. It's going to be another quarterback. And, he's been through a lot here and he seems frustrated. But, money talks. And I think to me, he, out of that 2022 class, is someone who really deserves that contract extension. Not only is he a good football player, first Jet in history to have 3 1,000-yard seasons to start their career, but I like how he carries himself off the field. I want, all 53 guys on my roster to have that same mentality that Garrett Wilson has. He hates losing. He wants to be successful. And I think he should be rewarded this offseason with a nice contract extension.
T-Town Jet with an Asmaniac super chat. I'm good at 9-8 as long as 4 of those wins are against the Pats and Bills. I'm good at 9-8 because that'd be more wins than they've had in a decade. And I'd have a lot of confidence that we have a real head coach if he took this team and got them to win 9 games and had a winning year. Like, that'd be an awesome first year for Glenn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they haven't had a winning record since 2015. That's a long time ago now. 9-8, I think, would be very impressive in year one, considering the circumstances.
JD writes, and we may only need to move up to number 6 through 10 next year for a quarterback, assuming we are at number 11 plus. JD already smells a 5-win season. Beautiful.
I hope that's not the case. A 5-win season, that'd be really disappointing.
We only have to move up a few spots because we already suck. Incredible.
Unless he's saying, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but if he's saying that they're picking 11 plus, maybe he's saying they only have to move up to the 6 to 10 range because there's multiple quarterbacks in the draft.
Yeah, maybe. No, he says, no, I think we're 15 and only need to move to 6. Okay, so we're going to be picking 15th next year. So how many wins then, JD? Is that like 6 or 7?
Middle of the pack, I guess. Probably 7.
Beastbreaker says no more 5-win seasons. Enough. Well, how about a 4-win season, Beastbreaker? We haven't had that in a few years because I smell 4 wins right now, Beast. Hopefully I'm wrong. That'd be nice.
2021 Jets 4-13 repeat.
Oh, yeah. Bino says, you see the article that our search was a sham. A couple of GM candidates are complaining. I mean, people complain when they don't get jobs, but I mean, I think we all can acknowledge the fact that Spielman, who led the search, is now part of the front office, is going to raise some eyebrows from people who interviewed for the job.
Yeah, it's going to raise some eyebrows, but I don't really care, to be honest, how they landed on the general manager. Their most important thing was landing Aaron Glenn to be their head coach. That's clearly who they wanted after Mike Vrabel was going to New England. They pair him with Darren Muji. And I don't know about you, but I really like that Rick Spielman's hanging around because he's a veteran general manager, has run an organization for a long time in Minnesota. And I think he's someone that a young staff can lean on.
Yeah, I mean, the other candidates could be upset, but at the end of the day, like, I think hiring Spielman's a good move. It's not like they hired, like, Adam Gase to be a consultant, and it's like, what are they doing? It's, Spielman's been successful in the league. He adds experience. And ultimately, like, if Aaron Glenn didn't think Darren Muji was the right fit, I don't think Darren Muji would be here. Like, it was all about Glenn at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And initially, too, we thought it was going to be Newmark paired with Glenn. But then they go back to the well and continue a couple more interviews, which I thought was interesting. And then they end up landing on Darren Muji after the fact. But, as we were kind of saying just there, I think Glenn is the more important hire because he seems really like the face and Muji is kind of more the behind the scenes guy.
Matt says stuff like that happens in the real world all the time. I mean, yeah, 100%. But, I'd be the first to say that, like, yeah, I mean, it looks a little shady that you hire a first-time GM who has a clear tie to Rick Spielman because Peyton, who's the Broncos GM, not Sean Payton, or is it Patton or Peyton? Whoever, George Patton, the Denver Broncos GM, comes from Minnesota under Spielman. So here's Muji getting the job. He's interviewed by Spielman in the interview process, and then Spielman ends up being hired as a consultant. So it's like you hired a guy who Spielman had a relationship with for Spielman to get back into a front office. I don't mind because I think Spielman is qualified, but I understand why there's some other candidates being like, really? Like, did I really have a chance of this? Or were they going to hire Muji because Muji was the guy that would have no problem bringing Spielman in as a consultant?
Yeah, that's the NFL, though. And I'm not saying that it's right, but it's a good old boys club. It's about who you know and making the connections. And that's why you see the same coaches feel like they get recycled over and over and over again. So, unfortunately, that's kind of just the way that the league works. And, as that comment said, a lot of the world works that way, too.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We're talking with Matt O'Leary here, weekly spot on the show. And, Matt, there's a lot of buzz in the chat right now about the Matt O'Leary jet neon light banner or display that you have behind you there. I just want you to know that.
That is awesome. So I got to give a shout out to my incredible fiance, Taylor. She got it for me a couple years ago, but we were in the process of looking for a house. So I didn't put it up until after the move, but it was made from a creator on Etsy. So a lot of talented people out there making some custom work.
Rick Kent says Matt always wanted to see his name in lights.
I did. Yeah, I did. So it's awesome to see that behind me. I think it looks cool. It's nice on the background.
Knob Craft. What's up, Knob? Where have you been? He's in the raffle for 5 with this $20 super chat. And he says that the roster has the talent we thought it did the last 2 years. And the coaching was as bad as we know it was. They should win games whether Rodgers is here or not. I want to know if these coaches can coach. I agree with that. And if like that, once again, that's why when people are like talking about a 4 or 5 win season being okay with it. No, man. Like, Glenn made this move to move on from Rodgers. That's just right. I disagree with it, but that's fine. Now, win some games. Like, go out there and prove that you could coach, man. Like, I'm not sitting here settling for a 5-win season being like, it's all great. No, go out there and have a winning season. Like surprise us. I don't think that's crazy. It's the NFL. Crazy things happen every year unless you're a Jet fan. It's time to change that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't think that should be the expectation going into next year because as Knobcraft points out, there is a lot of talent. And if you can get, similar style of quarterback play with improved areas at other points, then maybe they are competing for a playoff spot in year one. I just don't think you should hold the expectation that it's like not necessarily a playoff or bust but some sort of playoff mandate in year one. To me, I just want to see a tangible step forward from Aaron Glenn in this and the staff in year one.
Completely agree with that. Can we leave this year feeling confident about the regime we have in place? I don't know what that necessarily looks like from a record standpoint, but do we leave a year from right now? Are we optimistic about where this franchise is headed going into what will be an offseason where if they don't get the quarterback this year that is in the draft or young and ascending, like next year feels like that's when they're going to do it, unless they hit on one of these rookies they take on day 2 or day 3 and surprise us.
Yeah, I know it didn't really work out this way for Robert Saleh as the first-time head coach, but the Jets have had some success in year ones of coaching changes when they weren't really expecting to. Going into 06, with Mangini coming in here, there wasn't very high expectations, and they somehow, they figured out a way to win 10 games. They had a great draft class. 2009, we know what happens there with Rex Ryan. They, trade up and draft Mark Sanchez, and on the backs of a elite defense, they make it to an AFC championship game. So, we have seen surprise seasons in years gone by with the New York Jets. It's been a very, very long time since that's happened, but there's been times where fans or just the league in general, the consensus has been down on the Jets, and they've exceeded expectations. So it's not impossible here.
A super chat has come in from Tyrone Garcia. Maybe the coaches and front office are split on letting Rodgers go. Teammates are also showing they don't agree with Rodgers gone. Maybe. Look, Rodgers was well liked in that room. There's no doubt. Now, Aaron Glenn, his job is to get people to buy into what he's preaching when the team assembles for OTAs. Like, they could be upset. That's fine. Ultimately, Aaron Glenn's got to do what he thinks is best for the team, but it's on him to get everyone to buy in. And you know how you get people to ultimately buy in? They'll buy in the offseason. Aaron Glenn's got that type of personality, but you got to win games. Like, at some point, like, the bravado and, like, we're doing this and we're built for this bleep, and I'm wearing my built for this bleep shirt right now. Like, you got to win football games. That's the only way you ultimately change the culture in the big picture.
Yeah, that's true. Is eventually you're right. You have to win games because then it rings a little hollow. Like, you could say all the right things, but if you continuously have losing season after losing season, the buy-in isn't going to be there. So, they made a bold decision in year one. That was a really big choice that this new regime, Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji, had to make, and now they got to sell it to the rest of the team. It's it's not going to be easy. But that's, the spot that they put themselves in, and it's time to win some games.
Knob writes in, sweating getting rid of a quarterback who used to be good when the hope would be a first-round playoff loss at best is hilariously insane. I don't know if that, is the hope, though. Trying to win games and having a winning season. I compare it to what Tyrod Taylor did with the Bills when he ended their 17-year playoff drought in the 2017 season. To me, it's have a winning year. These guys getting to experience what that's like, ending that playoff drought, and then you trade up for the quarterback. That to me was the thing. I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo what 9-8 making the playoff season would do. I think there's value in that, a lot of value in that.
Yeah, I think that could be the case too, and I think a quarterback other than Aaron Rodgers could also give you that ceiling. So, that's where I am on it. I think that. If they decide to keep Rodgers, I was open to that idea, but I just don't think it's this massive drop off like that. If Aaron Rodgers in 2025, how many win difference is he from another veteran quarterback that you're signing? Is it 6 win difference? I don't think it's that high. It might be a game or two, depending on who they add. So my expectations with or without Aaron Rodgers haven't really changed all that much.
Bino super chats us. O'Leary, will you be performing an Irish dance after AG's first win?
I'm not really a great dancer, but I'll give it my best shot.
Hector Cabrera going all Bobby Midnight with the all caps. Jake Asman keeps calling out the 4-13 season, and now he says they should win 8 or 9. I never said that. I said I hope they could win 8 or 9. I'm not accepting a 4-win season. If that happens, then he could say he was right either way. No, if they win 8 or 9 games, I'll say I was wrong. I'll say that's awesome. I'm glad they won more games than I thought. I don't think they're going to win 8 or 9 games. I think this team is closer to 4 or 5 wins than 8 or 9. I hope I'm wrong, Hector. Clearly, your ears have so much crap in them, you're not listening. So I hope you go see an ear doctor and they can work their magic so you can hear a little better. All right? God. I hope they win 9 games. 9-8 would be amazing. Where do I sign for that right now?
I would do it in a second. That would be their best season in
a decade.
Yeah, which is really sad in its own right. But I think everyone signs up for that. Even if 9-8 doesn't get you in the playoffs, I hope it does. But if they go 9-8 and are a game or two out of a wild card spot, fine. You set the foundation. It's kind of 97 Jets when Parcells comes in here. They win 9 games and then they take that next step and are a 12-win team the next year.
Hey Hector, send me your address. I have a box of Q-tips right here, and we're gonna get your ears unclogged. All right, bud. Double R says, when will we know what their plan is at quarterback? When
Good
free
question.
agency starts.
Yeah, I was going to say probably. So that's a few weeks away. That's around this time next month. The NFL combine, the scouting combine is at the end of this month. That's kind of like the unofficial start of the off season. And then you'll start to hear some news in free agency in the beginning of March. So a few weeks away.
GTA writes, and Jake, just lie to us and tell us the Jets will be great. People have been so upset that I've been so negative lately, and I'm like, I'm a fan, man. I'm not gonna when the Jets are do good, and I believe I'll tell you that. Like I've been as optimistic as anyone the last 2 years, but like now Hector wants me just to basically say it's gonna be good no matter what. Well, Hector, I don't believe that right now, so I hope the Jets prove me wrong and they win a lot of games.
Yeah, and you have every right to be upset about it and feel the way that you do on the quarterback situation. I don't think they're going to be that bad next year. I don't think the drop off will be as extreme going from Rodgers to a different veteran quarterback. But again, if the coaching staff does what they were brought in here to do, and if Darren Muji is the right guy to run this team, and you have a good draft class. To me, there's no excuse not to improve record-wise from 5 wins a year ago.
Hector says, I wax my ears every day. The problem here is that you hate to be wrong. I don't think you do, Hector. I don't think you do. I don't know how many times I could say that I hope they win 8 or 9 games, but I'm not predicting that. I don't know what more you want me to say, Hector. I mean, your ears, maybe it's not your ears. Maybe it's your brain. Have we thought about that? I mean, we might have to operate on Hector's brain.
That's harder to fix. The ears is an easier fix than the brain.
There's no Q-tip I could give you, Hector, that will reach your brain, unfortunately. John checks in with a $10 super chat. John, thank you very much. Cha-ching. Curious if you think the Jets could have interest in a potential cap cut Marcus Williams in Baltimore. He was a ball hawk safety in New Orleans when Glenn was there. And random year's idea of calling LV for TE Mayor. So you want to call Las Vegas for Mayor at tight end. I don't hate that. I don't hate that idea at all. Marcus Williams would be interesting, too. The one safety I want the Jets to sign, who I believe is a free agent, is Justin Reed from Kansas City. I think he's only 26, 27. I think he's a good culture guy. I covered him in Houston. I think he'd be a really good fit if they're going to spend some money at safety. I do think they're going to address safety in free agency, though, for sure.
100%. Reed is a name that's been brought up a lot for the New York Jets. They were interested in Marcus Williams, if memory serves correct, but he just got some more money in Baltimore. Now, granted, a new regime is here, but there's the obvious Aaron Glenn connection. There's no connection with this other guy that I'm going to bring up, but I like Cameron Bynum from Minnesota. He's kind of an interception, ball hawking safety, and he's a sure tackler too, which I think is looking at the Jets' previous safety group is something they desperately need to improve on. But I would totally expect them to be in on somebody at safety. It might not be the cream of the crop like Javon Holland, who's going to get a boatload of money, but they'll sign someone to a multi-year deal would be my guess.
Knobcraft writes in, I love Matt. Voice of reason.
I love you too, Knobcraft. I try.
Now, Knobcraft, is that a government name, by the way?
First name Knob, last name.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats were presented today by Huga House. Huga House has 7 brand new hats, including the one I'm wearing, their performance hat line. They have them in white, blue, green, black, beige, you name it. HugaHouse.com. Promo code Asman will get you 15% off. And the dirty little secret is if you use my link in the description box, you'll actually receive 20% off. So get yourself a brand new hat from Huga House by using my link in the description box. We'll get to your calls coming up here. It's a weekly spot with Matt O'Leary. If you have a super chat, write it in. If you want in on the raffle, gift the membership, or do what Knobcraft did before and send in a $20 super chat, that will get you 5 entries into the next raffle. The J-Quest checks in. I know it's early. Predict our tight end room. Also, Matt, we're crashing your wedding. Get ready.
Yeah, I've gotten that message a few times. I'm excited to get some Jets content guys together. I always joke with Taylor, my fiance, because like she has her work friends. I'm like, I have my internet Jets friends. that's going to be my work group that's coming to this thing, but it's going to be a blast. As for the tight end room, This is gonna be tough, man. I don't know if it's a lock that Jeremy Ruckert makes the team next year. I honestly think Kenny Yeboah had a stronger finish to the season, and because he plays special teams, I think I'd rather bring him back as like the third tight end.
Green Bean will be crushed if they don't bring back Yeboah.
That's his guy, man. He loves him to death. Good role player. I wouldn't mind it. And then I think looking at the draft, they definitely have to add someone. I like Gunnar Helm out of Texas in the second round. Tyler Warren is a name that's probably going to go in the first round, so you'd have to spend the first round pick on him, but maybe bring Tyler Conklin back for one more year and then add somebody in the draft.
I definitely think one free agent signing, and then they're going to draft a tight end. I don't know if it's at like pick 7, like people have mocked, Warren to the Jets, but they're definitely going to draft a tight end.
Yeah, it would be crazy if they don't. That's one of the most glaring needs on this team to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hector Cabrera is back with all caps. Watch and see how Jake goes with that promotion of 4-13. And when he have a guest, he changes for that time being. He gets back to 4-13. I have consistently said, I think this is a 4 or 5 win team right now. I have not changed at all. I said to Matt in this conversation, I would love a 9-win season. That's not me predicting it, Hector. Once again, the wax is just engulfing your ears. You're not hearing it. It's affecting your brain. And the only thing we could do to try and get you better is, unfortunately, this.
F you. F you. F you too.
I mean, God, man. Go to Stupid Town, Hector. Jeez. Super chat from Dante, who checks in. I get where Jake's coming from. We want the team to succeed, and 5 to 7 wins isn't good enough. We could do what Buffalo did, get into the playoffs and trade up and get someone in 2026. I mean, if they win 9 games, that'd be awesome, and then you trade up and get your quarterback. Kansas City traded up for Mahomes. Baltimore traded back into the round 1, pick 32 to get Lamar. I just hate the notion, they got to suck next year because they need their quarterback. There's other ways to do it.
No, that's not what I'm rooting for. I don't. Now, I think they get their quarterback in 2026. So a lot of people are going to say, well, you just, you be bad. And if Jake's 4-win prediction comes true, they're probably in a spot to draft a quarterback. I don't think that's what the plan is. I think they're going to try to be competitive in year 1. And, maybe best case scenario, you find your way to 9 or 10 wins. The Steelers win 10 games every year without a quarterback and find their way into the playoffs. So if that's the case, I think that's best case scenario, honestly. And the guy who quarterbacked that Buffalo team is here, Tyrod Taylor. So
that's right. Hopefully Tyrod is the playoff streak ender. That's what he'll have on his resume. Ended 17 years in Buffalo and 14 years with the Jets.
I would love that.
Let's see. This one is from the great Bino, who checks in. The Vinny T. Winston thing is intriguing. Vinny coming to the Jets, 29,000 yards, 175 touchdowns, 183 career interceptions. Jameis Winston, 24,000 yards, 154 touchdowns, 111 interceptions. Difference is Winston has a better completion percentage. Jameis is the guy I would sign among like the veteran options. I think he offers upside. He's at least entertaining. He's a friend of the show now as well. Like I'm intrigued by Jameis Winston. If they're going to sign a veteran, I don't think he'd cost a ton. And I like Fields because he's young, but I think Fields is going to be able to get more money than what the Jets are going to be willing to offer someone, considering they do have Tyrod and they're going to absorb a $49 million cap hit because they're moving on from Rodgers.
I'm with you on both of those things. I think someone will give Justin Fields closer to $15 million. And I don't know if the Jets are going to be in that range to afford on a quarterback, but Jameis is probably closer to that $5 million range, which is something that I think they can afford. And that comparison is really, it's strange how close it is, which when you first hear it, you think like, really, Vinny T and Jameis, but they're both drafted by Tampa Bay, first overall, both had, crazy interception seasons and have kind of bounced around the league after, falling out of favor in Tampa Bay. And, as a football player, Jameis is a lot of fun to watch. He'd push the ball down the field. Now, granted, he might have some games where he throws, 3 picks, and that might be frustrating, but I definitely don't think they would be boring on offense if Jameis Winston was here.
Ladies and gentlemen, an exclusive interview last week with Jameis Winston on the Jake Asman Show.
Hey, Jameis, would you come to the Jets? They might need a quarterback. Jets, Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, our exclusive interview with now friend of the show, Jameis Winston.
He's going to be a Jet, man. You can see it there.
That's what I got from that interview. I've never seen someone want to be a Jet more than Jameis Winston there.
Friend of the show. Super chat here from Dante. A lot of $10 super chats today. I love that. Love it. Cha-ching. My ideal. Sign Carr for 2 years, have him win some games in 25, get to the playoffs, and let him mentor 2026 quarterback draft pick or Travis or McCord or whoever. Just have a clear plan for quarterback. I subscribe to the theory you draft a quarterback every year till you get one. So I have no issue if they did exactly what you said here, Dante, as far as McCord or any of the other guys they want to take a quote-unquote, shot at in the draft. I was going to say dart throw with Jackson Dart, but we've beaten that joke to death already, and it's only February.
Yeah, still got a long way to go before this draft. But I think Dante's onto something here with Derek Carr, kind of just laying out with what's likely to happen with the Saints. If they move on, he's going to be getting a great deal of money from them. So he would kind of get the Russell Wilson treatment on a cheap deal at probably close to the veteran minimum. I don't know if you're getting him to sign a 2-year deal. It kind of might just be, I'll sign at the vet minimum for a year and then take it from there. But I think he'd do a lot worse than Derek Carr. Again, he's not great. He's not exciting, but this is kind of that veteran presence who can maybe hold down the fort for a year type of swing the Jets would take.
Mama Beastbreaker is watching the show. Her message to her son is, son, your 24 pancakes and 10 sausage links are ready.
What a great mom. That's it. What a breakfast.
I wonder if this is actually Beast's mom. Beast is saying it's fake. Please ignore previous message, everyone. That is not Beastbreaker's mother.
Okay. But that would have been a good breakfast from Mrs. Beastbreaker.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how Beast feels about sausage links.
I would hope he likes them. Sausage links are good.
They are excellent. I might order some after this show. Drub Cabra, O-line and wide receiver, best since 2011. Rodgers overrated. Or how about this for a concept? The coaching staff was horrendous. They led the NFL in penalties. They lost 3 games because of their kicker. They had the lead late in several games and the defense collapsed. And sure, Rodgers certainly was not great. He was probably about league average this year. I think he played a little better down the stretch when he got healthier. But, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at here. We still had the best quarterback season we've had in about 10 years. So don't forget that, Drub Cabra.
The wide receiver room, I think, definitely needs some work, but having Garrett Wilson is going to make that a little bit easier. Offensive line room, though, I will agree is, I think, in a very good spot. They really just need to figure out what they're doing at right tackle, and I'm a big proponent of bringing back Morgan Moses. I think that's something that I would do, and maybe you take someone in the mid rounds to sit behind him for a year before he eventually takes over at right tackle.
So a lot of Jet fans are saying no Carr. One thing to consider with Derek Carr, by the way, could you actually keep Devontae in that scenario?
Maybe he loves Derek Carr. That's
right.
That's his college quarterback. He went to the Raiders to play with, or wanted to go to the Raiders to play with Derek Carr. That'd be interesting. That's a sneaky, if you can get Derek Carr for $1 million and Devontae Adams stays and restructures, then I think that's a double win.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden you have a wide receiver room that's not god awful. Carr is not great, but I mean he's better than some of the alternatives. I mean, I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
I don't hate it.
Ricky writes in, there's a fake Beast. How do you know? Did he say I'm not really a dumbass and I'm an imposter? There's a lot of speculation on who the real Beast is. And when you have speculation, the only thing that you have to do to get to the bottom of it is go right to the source.
You know what time it is? A Beastbreaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gobble.
Here we go, Beast.
Get him, son! Come on, son! I want your hand, boy! Get your hand up, you pussy! Come on, son! son. Get your little pussy ass up and let's get it on like a man.
Beastbreaker 666, he's the man who would kick your ass, and then he'd gobble-goo.
What a program.
That's the real beast. There's no fake beast. That's the real beast. You can't find someone with that type of strength and the ability to put fear into the opponent quite like that. That's Beastbreaker.
Can he play nose tackle? Maybe that's the Jets' fix of interior defensive lineman to play next to Quinnen Williams. Just get Beastbreaker, have him strap on Jake's helmet, and he's ready to go.
I mean, Beast, you look ready to go there. Now that is tremendous. I mean, all of a sudden you put Beast next to Quinnen Williams and forget my 4-win prediction. We're winning 10 games.
He's just going to eat like Chris Jenkins on the interior of that line, man. Love it.
Beast, great call there. Way to show your strength. More calls right now. Let's say hello to June, the GM, who's next. Hey, June.
Hey, what's going on, friends? I got a question, Matt, that I did want to ask you. I know you made a comment that you didn't want Shedeur Sanders because of his father and all that they bring. What do you mean by that? I need some clarity.
What do I mean by that? I think that it would be a spot where he's just like a very polarizing figure. And for Dion, I think he's been very vocal about where he wants his son to go and be in a good situation. And I would worry about his influence on team decisions.
Okay. Well, but think about this, right? I remember there was a time when Archie Manning didn't want Eli to play in San Diego when San Diego was really down and out, and he ended up going to New York. So this has been going on for a long time. It's not something new that a father doesn't want his child in a bad position. I do agree that he's a polarizing figure. They bring a lot with them because of the attention we get. But I still think the kid's a good quarterback, man. I think he got a quick release. I think he sees the field good. He throws a beautiful ball. He played behind a shitty offensive line and knows how to handle pressure because being Deion Sanders' son is a lot of pressure. Quarterbacking at a team in Colorado, they won like 1 or 2 games before they got there. So I think he gets a bad rap for all the attention they bring, but I think the kid's a top-notch quarterback, and I always liked him. In fact, I like him more than Cam. That's just my opinion. I know people in the chat's gonna go crazy, all the haters, but the reality is, man, I think Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in this class, and I think with the right coaching, he can be special.
Yeah, and look, I think he's an accurate quarterback. I think that's something that's going in his favor. And you brought up Archie. I thought that was a shitty thing for him to do, honestly, with San Diego. Now, maybe it worked out well for him, but I didn't love how they forced their way out of San Diego. I don't think that's right for someone to get involved like that. But yeah, if you like him, I mean, I don't think I don't have any gripe with it. This isn't a quarterback class where I think there's one obvious guy ahead of the rest. I think it's those two in whatever order you want to put them in. And then there's a little bit of a gap before you get to the next tier quarterback.
I read something earlier that they were mentioning that Woody's enamored by Sanders, which I'm not surprised if he is because Woody likes attention. We all know he likes to make a splash. But I did hear through the grapevine too, reading different things that Sanders doesn't want to come to New York or the Jets or Cleveland, which is understandable because we are part of the 2 shittiest organizations in football. So it's understandable if that's the truth.
I would take Shedeur for what it's worth. I like Cam Ward better, though, if they're going to trade up.
I think they're both talented. I think they're both going to do good. And once again, like we spoke about earlier in the week, that we just don't know who's going to be good in the NFL draft. Like so many times, people, it's a no-miss prospect. And, and my fear is I definitely don't want us to tank the season because imagine you tank the season. You think you're going to get a strong quarterback in next year's class because they got more better quarterbacks, supposedly, and that quarterback doesn't turn out. Glenn is done at that point. At that point, he's done already. We're going through this again. So, I'd rather take a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round. The 1st round, I would like to address the defensive line. I like the kid Grant from Michigan. I also like Warren. If we can move back to 10 to 12-ish and grab the tight end from Penn State, I'll be happy with that. But we got a lot of work to do, guys. And great job.
June, thanks. Great job, man. We'll see you at the Combine. You got to scout some prospects. June, the GM, everyone.
Good call.
Did I miss a super chat here? I don't believe I did. All right. Open phone lines if you want in on the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a time when this guy wanted my current guest rear end on a stick. But we have come a long way since those times, and all is apparently well.
Well, you know, I need to find Matt O'Leary. He's supposed to come on my show. I want his butt on a stick.
Hi, Jake. Look what I'm wearing today.
There it is. That thing hasn't been worn in years.
Years. I only got it last year.
It's been a long time.
So, Matt, you're not on my... I don't want you ass on the stick anymore. So.
Yeah, we've made amends.
Yeah, we did. When is your big day? I forgot.
November.
Oh, congratulations.
Aren't you the best man, Bobby?
No, I don't think I'm invited. Maybe you.
You're my plus one.
You could be the best man.
There we go.
You're my plus one, Bob.
No, probably his brother might be the best man.
Matt, do you have a brother?
I don't have a brother. It's my my childhood best friend that I've grown up.
Oh, that's nice. That's good.
Yes, shout
that's
out.
What you need. So, do you? Yeah, I'm not happy they got rid of Rodgers. I'm not going to be happy. I think Rodgers could be a good. What do they call that? What's that? Bridge for next year. You know, I do think he's a good quarterback still. You know, but he has to tell the truth. Not if he gets hurt. Tell you're hurting, not just go play with, injury. That's not what.
Well, he's gone, Bob. It's over.
Oh, it's gone. Okay, so let's get. Do you like no, Justin Fields is too much, right? Too much for him. But Derek Carr, is he a good running quarterback or what?
No, he's a pocket passer.
Oh, okay. So he's just like Aaron Jones. Aaron Rodgers. Who else do you think that it's out there that you want, Matt O'Leary?
Bobby Midnight at quarterback.
Bobby would be great. I'm in on Jameis. I think if he's available and is coming at a cheaper price tag than what Justin Fields is going to get, I don't mind Tyrod and Jameis Winston.
Yeah, $5 million, it ain't that bad. Yeah, that's true.
Leon says, Bob on brand, no football knowledge, and just blurbing out gibberish.
Okay, Leon, what you call in once in a while and give your type it's the typing, okay? I want your ass on the stick. How's that? Leon M. Okay. At least I call in.
Jake West says, Bobby, I hope you didn't gamble yesterday.
I can't gamble anymore, Jake West. Can't gamble anymore.
Yeah, Matt, I don't know if you know this, but Bobby Midnight is legally not allowed to gamble in all 50 U.S. states.
How did this happen? How did we get to that point?
Well, I was gambling away my haircut money. And
oh, that's not good.
No, people were giving me money for certain stuff. So, well, at least I came out a minute. Okay, I got a problem. Like people have drinking problems, gambling problems. I have a gambling problem. So
yeah, Bobby's vice was gambling.
Yeah,
but you're aware of it, and you made a good, positive life decision to stop. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I think that's good. Can I ask you a question, Jake? Is Mike in the back? He said he's going to call in today.
Is who in the back? Your brother?
Yeah.
No, he's not in the back.
Okay, I told him to call in. He wants to call in. Did you hear Nick Shine show yesterday? He knows he met two of your friends from school, high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
they're doctors now.
I wasn't aware of who he met, but someone did tip me off that Mikey met someone who knew me.
Yeah, Nick, yeah. They went to high school with you or something.
Oh, okay.
He said on yesterday's show, yeah. I was shocked when Michael said that. You
Chris
just got
Bobby,
home from him.
Bobby needs a haircut.
Oh, definitely, Chris. Yeah, I feel like a pony, a dog now. I feel horrible. Before I get my McDonald's interview, I'll get a haircut.
I've been hearing about this haircut for a year already. I'm starting to think it's not happening.
Oh, well, the gambling got me out there.
Bobby, I'll bet you I could get you gambling by the end of the show.
Nope. Sorry, Charlie, Matt. Matt, sorry, Charlie. Right? Sorry, Charlie. No, that's not going to happen.
Hector says, Bobby, you sound like a broken record, always mentioning what people already said.
Oh, Hector, what about cleaning your potatoes in your ears and listening to Jake, what he says? Throw him in the hole. Throw him in the hole. He deserves the hole. Throw
You
him
want
in
him
the
in the
hole.
hole?
Yeah, throw
All
him in the
right,
hole.
fine. Hector was coming at me earlier, so why not?
Yeah, well, I'm sticking up.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you later.
Let the dog kick you in the butt. Bye. I
Ladies
like
and
this
gentlemen-
dog. I don't like him. He's
I see.
annoying. He doesn't listen to you, Jake. You didn't say what he typed in. I saw what he typed in.
Yeah.
Yep. So everybody, you have a great day. Matt, I'll be on your second show, Jake.
I look forward
see you
to
guys.
it. When's the interview with McDonald's?
Oh, it's next Tuesday at 9:15 in the morning.
All right, so then I'll be live at 10 a.m. that day. So you have the interview, then you call into the show. We break it down.
Oh, I definitely will. I'm right. Well, it's like driving my car. It's like 7 minutes on the highway.
You're driving?
Michael's. I drive. I do drive.
Sorry, are you driving to the interview?
Well, Michael needs to do a couple of things. He's going to drop me off there, do that, and then because he has to work. No, he's off Tuesdays. He does have to do a few errands that morning.
I see.
So he'll pick me up after that.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, Speak of the Devil, is Mikey Mayhem.
Hi, Michael. Michael. Oh, I don't think we can hear him. Oh, Michael, you touched something you're not supposed to. I know he can't hear you, Michael. Can't hear you.
Oh, now he's in the dark.
Lost.
I know. Yesterday, his thing came out pretty good on Nick Stein show. He was on like a half an hour. Less that long for him. So he does have
to be clear, Bobby. There was a comment here. Someone speculated that your interview is just you just showing up to McDonald's and ordering food. That's not what this is, right? You're actually
no. The lady, you do it online, and then she says the opportunity to get an interview is next Tuesday at 9:15. So yeah, new whatever your name is. What people like to type and not talk to people. Just talk. That's everybody else. Just look at me. I'm a big typist. Oh, big deal. Shove your keyboard up your behind. Okay, that's good.
Wow.
All right, so Jake and Matt, you have a great day. I'll see you later, Jake. But I won't see you later, Jake. Matt, have a great day. Have some chicken nuggets too, like your wife made you that time you were on my show that time.
Yes, maybe that's be my lunch today. That's a good idea.
Yeah, chicken nuggets. It's good for you. Yeah, air fryer, right? Air fryer.
You just got a new air fryer. Maybe I try it out.
Oh, I thought you did that. What the way they make it the last time? I thought you said
You did. We got a newer one, a bigger one.
Oh, okay. You got to
upgraded, baby. A Ninja.
Oh yeah, ninjas are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see you guys later, everybody.
Bye, gentlemen. Bobby Midnight. Wow, what a call. We covered a lot of ground there.
I don't know. Between Bobby and Beastbreaker, this is an all-time run on calls right now.
And those are the only people that, excuse me, actually, no, June called in too, but those are the only people that I have on the program.
Love it.
That's it. Matt, I appreciate you as always for hopping on. Who knows what we'll be talking about next week? It's always something with this franchise.
It is always something. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Jake, and I'll see you guys next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Matt O'Leary, one of the all-time greats. Subscribe to Matt O'Leary, NY. Matt's the man. Leon says, what happened to V-Man? Is he still toilet drinking at 11 a.m.? I haven't had a V-Man call in several days. I couldn't even tell you the last time V-Man called in. J-Quest says, Bobby's like my aunt. Says bye and then continues talking. Yeah. It's never actually over for Bobby. He'll talk all day. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Reminder to get memberships to be entered in the raffle, which will likely be over the weekend. If you won any prizes in our most recent raffle, they all have been sent out. Some of you, like Purple Belt Mike, have already received your prize. He showed off the signed Joe Namath helmet yesterday on the show. Raffle prizes include a signed Curtis Martin helmet, signed Corbett jersey, signed Maynard helmet, replica Joe Willie ring, and signed Aaron Glenn card. Leon says Bobby probably has conversations with his mop. I have heard the same, Leon. I have seen that. All right. We were talking about it. The Jets have made it official. They're moving on from Aaron Rodgers. The Jets themselves have put out a statement. We have informed Aaron Rodgers that we will be moving in a different direction at quarterback. There it is from the Jets. So official statement, it's done. It is done. I'll read you the statement here from, you know what? I'm going to end the show. I'm going to do an official video on this because a lot of people are going to want live content. BRB in 5 minutes as we react to the official statements on Aaron Rodgers' tenure coming to a close.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.